3.1, fraction estimation. William, what can we now do?
We can estimate and round fractions.
We can estimate and round fractions, and as you know, there's some specific rules that go along with estimating and rounding fractions. First of all, our vocab sum, we know that. A vocab word we should have on there was difference, but we didn't put it on there, so sum and difference, I think you're very well aware of what those are. Rounding rules, number 2. Because when rounding, always follow the directions of the boss, one place value down. We talked about that when dealing with decimals. 4 and below, leave it alone. 5 and above, give it a shove, blah, blah, blah. You guys are good at that after our wake up. With fractions, we are focusing on rounding to the nearest half. So anytime we're dealing with a fraction, any number less than 1, which is what we're calling a fraction, we're rounding it to the nearest whole number, we're rounding it to a half, or we're rounding it to the next one up. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so whatever it's closest to is what we're rounding it to. So again, we're rounding it to the nearest whole number, 0 or 1, or we're going right in the middle, which is 1/2. Okay? Examples, 1/12. Closer to what, you guys? 0. 5/8. 1/2, and 98/99. 1. So anytime we're dealing with a number less than 1 fraction, we're rounding it to the 0, the 1, or the 1/2. Adding and subtracting fractions. So letter A, you see the work here. We've got 7/8, we got 1/12. 7/8 is the same as what? I'm sorry, 7/8 is not the same as 1. 7/8 is about what? 1. And 1/12 is about what? 0. So the estimation on 7/8 plus 1/12 is approximately the answer 1. B, we have 24/49, which is really close to a half. And we have 63 1/25, which is really close to a half. So we're taking a half, we're subtracting a half, and we got 0. Is ringing a bell here?
Yes.
Okay. Mixed numbers, this is where things shifted a little bit. When working with mixed numbers, we're only rounding to the nearest whole. We're not dealing with halves anymore. So an example would be 7 5/9 is not 7 1/2, it's 8. Because 5/9 is greater than what value? 5/9 is greater than what decimal value, you guys? Point 5. So 5/9 is greater than a half, therefore we push it up. If 5/9, or if you had a number like 4/9, is that less than a half?
Yes.
So therefore it does what to the whole number? Say that again?
Stays the same.
Stays the same. So remember, we're trying to compare fractions to 4 and below, leave it alone, 5 and above, give it a shove. So if it's 0.5 or higher in decimal form, give it a shove. If it's anything below a half, leave it alone. And then we gave you a couple of examples, which you can look at on your own time. And did we have a word problem on this or not?
Yes.
We did have a word problem. And the word problem was simply dealing with mixed numbers. And then I think we had another mixed number, and we had to decide after we converted feet to inches if a piece of wood would fit between a couple of pieces of wood, construction site or wherever it might be. So you can look at that on your own. When would you ever deal with rounding? We said shopping, knowing what you can or cannot afford, and building or finding a piece of anything to fit into something else. So carpenter work could be an example. Anything I need to go through with you on this. You're all good.